we're going to make fruit muffins. You will be given your recipe a week before and you will have had some choices on there. And those choices will be for a sweet muffin, either fresh fruit, dried fruit or chocolate chips if you wished. And for a savoury muffin, you can use cheese and herbs. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to get our oven on. As with all baked products, you need the oven to be preheated. Now, the one side of the kitchen is electric cookers. All you need to do with the electric cookers is to put the red switch on the wall and then turn the oven knobs, because there's a bottom oven and a top oven, to 200 degrees centigrade. With the gas ovens, however, it's a lot more difficult. You have to open the door of the oven. You have to push the knob in for the right oven and turn it right round to the power side. Okay? You then check you have a flame in your oven and you turn that back to 6 and close the oven door. If you hear a ticking, it means that your flame has gone out. So you light the oven and you then get your tin ready. You will find the muffin tins on the middle table, and you will have been asked by the larger paper cases. Now, they used to call these muffin cases, but they've now changed them to cupcake cases. And you will need 6 cupcake cases. So you bring 6 cupcake cases in your tin, and you can, if you wish, share with your partner and they can use the other side of the tin for their 6, but you'll have to both work at the same speed. Next thing you need to do is you need to weigh out your dry ingredients and sieve them. So we need plain flour and baking powder. The reason we don't just use self-raising flour is there is not enough raising agent in self-raising flour for the muffins. So we use plain flour and baking powder. So, remember with the scales, you put the equipment on the scales first, turn them on, make sure they're on 0, and then there is a G above them for grams as they measure millilitres, fluid ounces and pounds and ounces, and you need 140 grams of plain flour. There. To that, you are going to add half a level tablespoon of baking powder. Now, in your drawer, you should have some measuring spoons. 3 sets of measuring spoons. And these measuring spoons weigh 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. Okay? So you want, a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So you want 1/2 tablespoon, so you want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So your baking powder needs to be in date. If it's not in date, it will not work. You also need to make sure that you measure it really accurately. Too much baking powder and you will make your muffins very salty and it will grow warts. Too little baking powder, that's 1 then, and they won't rise enough, and 1/2, so 1.5. Notice I'm levelling mine out with a palette knife to be really accurate. I'm then going to sieve that onto my plate, and the sieving action will incorporate more air into my mixture. So that's my dried ingredients. I'm then going to get my large bowl out of my cupboard, and I'm going to measure my sugar. Now, if you're doing sweet muffins, then you will measure out 40 grams of caster sugar. If you're doing savoury muffins, you will only measure out half that amount, 20 grams of caster sugar. You still need the caster sugar in there to help with the colour of your muffins, because the sugar caramelizes it, giving it the colour. But you don't, if you're making savoury enough muffins, you don't want them too sweet. So 40 grams of caster sugar. Too much. To that, I'm going to add my 115 millilitres of milk. Now the way I've done that is I have measured out 100 millilitres. The measuring jug won't show me 115 millilitres. A tablespoon is 15 millilitres. So adding to my 100 millilitres, 1 tablespoon of milk. And that will give me my 115 millilitres of milk. Add that to my sugar, and then I am going to crack my egg into my measuring jug, 1 large egg. Check I haven't got any shell in there, and I'm going to give it a whisk with the fork. Add it to my milk, eggs and sugar. The next thing I need to do is I need to melt my soft spread margarine, but not low fat soft spread or margarine, because it has too much water in it and you won't get a good quality baked product. So I need 55 grams, so using my small bowl out of my cupboard, zero the scales again, make sure it's on grams, 55 grams. Now this needs melting. Now you can either get your small saucepan out of your cupboard, and melt it on the hob, or if you have a microwave in your vicinity, then you're going to microwave it. Now we don't want to fry it, we just want to melt it. So we put it on microwave power, we put it on for 30 seconds, and we press start. Right, I am using fresh fruit in my muffins, so I need to wash my fresh fruit. I need 100 grams of fresh fruit. Sorry, I need 50 grams of fresh fruit. 50 grams of fresh fruit. So I need to take that out, 50 grams. And then I'm going to wash that fruit. You don't need to do this if you're using chocolate chips or dried fruit. You need to grate your cheese on the whiteboard using the large holder of the grater. If you are making savoury muffins, that's my fruit, and I should have perfectly melted butter in 30 seconds. To work quite quickly, because as soon as our baking powder mixes with the liquid, it will start working, and it only has a finite life, so you want it to still be working when you get it in the oven. So you mix your melted butter with your milk, sugar and eggs. To that, you're adding your flour. Now you don't want this to be smooth. If this is too smooth, then it will not have the proper muffin cracked top appearance. You want it lumpy, not smooth. So 15 seconds stirring, add your fruit, and that's now ready to go in your cases. So the best way of getting it in the cases is to use your measuring jug again. So you pour your mixture back into your measuring jug, all your mixture. Now if you were using cheese, this mixture wouldn't be quite as runny as this. But if you're doing chocolate chips, it would be, or dried fruit. Use a plastic spatula to get all the mixture in the jug, and then you're going to have to use your noticing skills to fill your muffin cases evenly. So about 2/3 full, and it's so much easier to do this with a jug. If you've got any drips, make sure you remove them before you put them in the oven, otherwise you'll find your muffin tin difficult to clean. So about 2/3 full, and if you've got mixture left over, have a look at them again and see which ones need more mixture. But don't throw any of the mixture away, just keep on going round, dividing it between your cases. There's a little bit left in there. Get your palette knife again, your plastic spatula again, and just get the last little bits out. If you've got any drips, then get your damp dishcloth, just damp, and just wipe up your drips before you put it in the oven. Now your oven is hot, so you need to use oven gloves, otherwise you're going to burn your fingers. So the oven gloves will be on the centre table, but you must still be careful because people burn the backs of their hands. Make sure the oven door is open and stable. Take your tray, and your tray has to go in that way, not that way, because the heat source is at the back. Okay? And place it on one of the racks. When you come to check your muffins, you pull the rack out slightly rather than put your hand in and burn the back of your hands. Now those need approximately 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So I'm going to check them after 15 minutes. So do not open your oven for 15 minutes, then you're going to check that they've risen, are a nice golden brown colour. So while they're in the oven, you are going to wash up, and you're going to work as a team with your partner, one washing, one drying. And if there's 3 of you, one will be wiping the side and putting away. So when you've done all your clearing up, then you need to get out of your cupboard a wooden mat, either the triangle one or the square one, and a cooling